Hello and welcome to the Spring of 2023 Accessibility Team's Quick Bite presentation on text over images. Today, we will be discussing why text over images is so important to website accessibility. Members of the team who are presenting today are me as Ryan, Ling, Nick, Sarayu, and Hallie. This PowerPoint was created by the accessibility team under the Lori Burns McRobbie Serve IT Clinic through the Luddy School of Informatics, Computing, and Engineering in conjunction with the City of Bloomington Council for Community Accessibility, or CCA. So what is text over images? Text over images involves any type of text over an image on a web page. It generally does not matter whether the text is informative or descriptive. On this slide, you will see two images showing the Indiana University sample gates, with the second image including descriptive text on the image to provide better understanding of what we will be discussing in this presentation. Next, Ling will talk about why text over images matters.
Hello, I'm Ling. Why does it matter? Text over images can be problematic because text superimposed on images can be hard to read for a sighted user. Possible examples of this are visibility and contrast issues between background and text color, background patterns, font types, or font size. Often text set over images is not mobile friendly or responsive. Depending on screen width and responsive design, the location of your text may vary in relation to the underlying image. Next, Nick will talk about the examples of text over images.
Text over images can be effective when certain components are included, such as strategic placement of text in clear contrast that makes the text easy to read. Additionally, the font used for text should be both clear and readable, and in some cases, a background color may be necessary to enhance visibility. In the example I provided, I have an image with the text, "Make your own path," in an area where the text is very legible for all viewers. On the other hand, it is bad practice to place text in busy areas or to use colors that do not contrast with the background image. Also, you should not use inappropriate fonts or crowd your text. The example is the same image that has the same text, but in an area that is difficult to read. Also, keeping in mind how the image is going to change with the size of the browser is important when understanding text over images, because the text could move to an unfavorable position on the background. I have three images that showcase how different sizes of browsers can affect the text and how it is visible on the screen. I have provided an example of this using this image and how it will change from a laptop to a mobile device. Notice how on the laptop it is easy to read, while on the mobile device it is more difficult to see. Next, Ling will tell you how color contrast is also important to understand when it comes to text over images.
Color contrast. Here's an example of why color contrast matters. Using contrasting colors on your web page in general and with your text over images specifically can have a huge impact on the legibility and readability of your text. As shown in the top of the image example on the right, white text on black background and black text on white background both have high contrast, which users can easily differentiate. On the other hand, the bottom of the image show how light color text should not be paired with similar color or another light colored background, as it makes the text harder to read. Solutions. Background colors in the text box. If it's important text, put it in the body instead of or in addition to over the image. As an example image on the left, we added background colors in the text box so it can be easily read for users. Lastly, test the text on a few screen sizes to make sure it's readable. Next, Sarah, you will talk about what to do next.
Some things that you can do next is to talk to your website developers about making images and text accessible. You can also contact the CCA for information about ServeIT and their partnership with businesses like yours using the website link bloomington.in.gov/board/community-accessibility, the email address cca@bloomington.in.gov, or the phone number 812-349-3471. Lastly, you can hire a website design contractor. To further your learning about text over images, you can use the following links from YouTube, W3 Schools, and DQ University, which you can find links to in the transcript. I'll pass it on to Hallie for the conclusion.
Hello, I'm Hallie. In conclusion to our PowerPoint, following best practices when including text over images on your web pages to make them accessible is useful to everyone. Some of these practices include having a high contrast between the background image and foreground text, using a text box with background color when needed, putting the text over less busy parts of the image, using alt text as needed, and thinking through several screen sizes to make sure the text is always readable. Here are some more resources you can use to further your knowledge of aspects of accessibility. The first link is to a web page which tests background images and foreground text to make sure there's a high enough contrast. The second link is to a web page which can check websites for accessibility issues. The other links are general information about website accessibility. All of the links in this presentation will be located on the transcript. Thank you for listening to our presentation.